It's a nice day. It's Thursday, October the 23rd. Thursday, October 23rd here in Vancouver. And I'm just pushing the show live here from the man cave, if you will. So we're just going to let the stream fire up. And once we'll give it maybe 5 or 10 minutes, I'll share it, and then we can get things going here. So I'm going to open up the chat right now and get into that. And let's have a look here. Just let some people, let you guys come into the chat. We'll just give it a few seconds. As I say, I'm going to share this as well, and we get some people in here. So just give us a second here. Just gonna get working on the iPad here. So to view the chat with you guys. As I say, I'm just going to share. And so, yeah, I hope you're all doing well. Hope everything is well. As I say, I'm live from the man cave here in Vancouver. It's a wet and soggy day here in Vancouver this morning, unfortunately. So I did not want to go to the airport and risk the equipment, but I also wanted to have an opportunity to meet with you all, talk to you all, and let you guys see what I've got happening here. So, as I say, I'm just gonna post this on my social media. Just give us a second. As I say, there's not many people here right now. So it gives me an opportunity to get this posted. Do that right now. Just take me a second. And I'll put it into my groups, some of my groups. Okay. So again, I'm just waiting for people to it'll take just a few minutes for me to put this into my different social media here to get the word out. And take just a few seconds. Let's have a look here. As I say, just give us a little bit of time, maybe 5 minutes or so here, just to get the word out. Maybe get some people to join us in the chat, and we can have a good chat. I've got some interesting stuff to share with you, some interesting news to share with you, models, books, upcoming aviation shows. So it should be a fun chat. And yeah, bear with me here while we get that done. Take just a few more minutes to get going here. So hope you're all doing well. As I say, it's a wet, damp morning here in Vancouver. So not the best of days, not the greatest of days to do a live stream at the airport. So for that reason, I decided to do the stream here from the man cave in Vancouver. And we'll have a good chat and discussion. So, as I say, we're just gonna let the news percolate here through my social media channels to see if we can get the word out. Take a few minutes, and this is kind of just a pre-show while I'm sharing the link on my iPad here, just to advise people. And then I'll post it on my LinkedIn as well. So yeah, my name is Henry Tenby. This is my usual slot for my airport live stream here in Vancouver, but because we are under wet and soggy condition, it's not the best conditions to have a live stream at the airport. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. So hope you guys are okay with that. And let's see, I'll get this posted into my LinkedIn profile as well. And I'll give us a second on that. And yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. What time is it? It's just about 9:30 here in Vancouver. And it is what it is, right? We've got lousy weather here in Vancouver. So we're just going to have something a little bit different today, which is just the way it goes. Okay, so Gerard, thanks for joining. So I see we have 10 people, so I think that's okay. And Greg, so thank you very much for being here. We're going to start the show. So thank you very much for joining. My name is Henry Tenby here in Vancouver. Today is Thursday, October the 23rd, 2025. We would normally be at the Vancouver International Airport for our live stream today. However, the weather is absolutely not conducive for it. It is raining outside right now, cloudy, and we're on runway 08 here at YVR. So it just doesn't lend itself to my doing a live stream with all the equipment, and I don't want to risk damaging the equipment. So we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to be reporting from the man cave and presenting some interesting models, talking about shows, books, and all that kind of stuff. So we're just going to play it by ear. Philip, nice to see you. Thanks for joining. You're hopefully cooking something nice for dinner tonight. So we've got a lot coming up into the fall. As many of you know, I do attend a lot of aviation collectible shows coming up, during the, I'd say, October to February time period. 259 Amigo, nice to see you, 259 Amigo. 259 Amigo bumped into me last week at the South Terminal when I was attempting to do our live stream, and he was here on holiday. Last Friday, he flew back to the UK, so I got to meet 259 Amigo. Pleasure to meet you, and hopefully I'll get to have another successful show from the South Terminal and maybe meet 259 Amigo again when he's next back in town. And Father Norman, nice to see you. I'm glad you're here as well. Hope things are well with yourself, and best wishes, of course, are being sent to you. And Mixter A350, thanks for joining as well. So I was saying that we do have, this is the season of the aviation collectible shows. Our first show, which I will actually be attending, is coming up this Sunday here in Vancouver, I should say Richmond. It's called the Vancouver Aviation Collectible Show. It's at 4 p.m. I'm going to have 2 tables loaded chock-a-block with aviation books, photos, safety cards, models, ephemera, printed matter, postcard. I mean, you name it. I'm going to have boxes and boxes of stuff available for sale. So if you're in Vancouver, if you're able to get to Vancouver this weekend, please come by to the show. You definitely want to attend. It's going to be great fun. I want to thank Paresh for organizing the show. It's something that we all really look forward to here in Vancouver. And you can get more information on the northpacificdiecast.com website. But again, it's coming up this Sunday here to the public at 11 a.m. The show goes until 4 o'clock. So thank you very much for joining us, Marcello. Nice to see you. That's our first show. Now, my plan, just so everybody knows, it's a plan. Sometimes things don't go to plan, but I'm hoping to attend my Frankfurt Aviation Slide Convention, which takes place next weekend in Frankfurt, Germany. It's the world's biggest gathering of collectors of 35 millimeter aircraft slides. And I've been attending that show in Frankfurt for the last quarter century. And if you're interested in more information, it's an auction website that I've run for the last quarter century. It's my main bread and butter, if you will. So if you go to airlineslides.com, you can get the full information on the Frankfurt Aviation Slide Convention. So that's coming up next weekend. Then what? Well, the next big show, unfortunately, is the weekend after in Frankfurt. It's the weekend of November the 14th. It's the huge Frankfurt Aviation Fair. And I had been attending that fair for many years, decades actually, until they decided to split their fair and not have it. They no longer do that. So I no longer attend. I can't wait in Germany for a whole week twiddling my thumbs between the two shows. So, but those of you that are able and interested, the Frankfurt Aviation Fair does take place on November the 14th, 2025. And their website is FRA-aviationfair.com. The biggest aviation show on planet Earth takes place in Amsterdam on February the 26th at the Van der Valk Hotel, Schiphol Airport. I've been attending that fair, I believe, the first 15. So this is perhaps the 6th year, I think. 6th or 7th year that they've held it, and it is the world's biggest and best aviation collectible show and fair. Again, my plan is to attend. I'm looking forward to that, and I really hope that you can attend that fair as well. So Frankfurt Aviation Fair, February 26th at the Van der Valk Hotel, Schiphol Airport, Amsterdam. Aviationfair.com is their website. So check that out as well. So it's going to be a busy fair, aviation fair season that we've got coming up between now and March, I would say. There's other shows in there as well I need to mention, but I just my immediate radar, if you will. So who else have we got? Daniel Mayer. Thank you very much for joining us, Daniel. That's great to see you. Daniel says, great stream. My daughter and I watch. She's a huge aviation fan from Vancouver, living in Dublin now. Terrific. And she was at the Paris Air Show last year. Excellent stuff. Excellent. So those of you that know me know that over the last few years, I've been very much into book publishing. And I published two coffee table picture books. This is Air Travel Time Machine Volume 1, and this is Lodestars to Jets. The history of Trans-Canada Airlines up to 1960. These books are basically 300 pages, all color. I'm trying to show you guys the back covers of them. These are major volumes, and we printed for distribution here in North America and Europe and the UK. We're now sold out, except I have one or two books left in addition to my own. And so these are now sold out. If you got your copies, thank you very much for supporting. I appreciate it. They're going to be collector's items because I will never reprint them. If you are interested in getting one of the last remaining copies of either of these books, shrink wrapped, and the original price that I was publishing them at. That's just how it works in this business. So you can send me an email. Henry Tenby at gmail.com, and we can talk about if you might like to purchase the very last one of these books available. I could sign it for you as well, but yeah, you have to factor in shipping, FedEx, etc. It's going to be a lot more than, unfortunately, what the cost of these were when they were available through the regular distribution process. But if you missed out and you really want to have one of these, drop me an email, henrytenby at gmail.com, and I can discuss that with you and see if we can strike a deal. I was also thinking of these. You can talk to me now, see if we can make an arrangement. So let's talk about Air Travel Time Machine. Air Travel Time Machine Volumes 2 and Volumes 3 are going to the printer this fall. So basically, we've got the year 1960 to 1970 in the same format. And there's so much content, we've split it up into two volumes. So basically, Volume 2 is going to cover 1960 to 1965, and Volume 3 is going to cover 1965 to 1970. We're going to be selling them as a two-volume set. And the nice thing is that we can ship two of these books pretty much anywhere, be it in Canada, US, or overseas for the same cost as shipping one of them. They're heavy. These weigh about 4 to 5 pounds each. So generally speaking, the cost to send 2 of these is not too different than the cost to send one of them. So if you're interested, feel free to send me an email and I'll add you onto my email list, and I'll keep you well updated on the status of the reprint or the printing of volumes 2 and volumes 3 of Air Travel Time Machine. The book was distributed, and our Europe UK distributor also sold the books. I had nothing to do with that. That was their own effort. So I did sell directly worldwide. So if you wanted to book the book, you can certainly contact me, and I'll add you to our email list. And as these books become available, we'll definitely keep you updated. So yeah, so that's it. That's the exciting news. Volumes 2 and number 3 are just about ready to go to the printer. And it'll probably take, I'm going to say, a month to print them, and then probably 2 months, 3 months for the books to be shipped to distribution points. So probably we're looking at shipping to customers volumes 2 and volume 3. It will knock your socks off. I'm really excited about it. It's actually, I like volume 1, up to the, through the 50s, but volume 2 covers the jets, right? So you've got the mixture of the prop liners, turboprops of the late 50s, early 60s, and you've got the classic early first generation jetliners in there as well. So the images are taken all around the world where people traveled. These are random traveler photographs that people took in their travels, and I've been collecting these kinds of images for the last 30 to 40 years. So it's my life's work, if you will. Random travel. Stay tuned for more information on that. Let me just have a look at the chat, see who's with us. And yeah, so Mixter A350, thanks for joining. Appreciate that. Rev1 Kev, thank you very much for joining the show as well. I appreciate that. Paula, nice to see you. Thank you, Paula. Jeff, thank you very much for your kind words. I appreciate that. And another Jeff in Massachusetts, joining us from Boston. Nice to see you as well. So I'm going to do a tour of some of my models that I've acquired since we last did one of these man cave shows, if you will. I've pulled a number of models here to talk about, and maybe I've got, which is this beauty. This here is a Loft Leader CL44 model. Let me just organize my desk, organize my workspace a little better. Yeah, this is a fantastic model from the early 1960s. Canadair, Canadian company, built the CL44 airliner back in the late 50s, early 60s. They were primarily delivered to the Royal Canadian Air Force, but a number of civilian operators did operate them. The major one was Loft Leader. They were the history on this was that Loft Leader was a low-cost airline based in Iceland, kind of like present-day Iceland Air, and they flew transatlantic. They connected Europe to North America with tech stops in Iceland, and they offered lower prices than the major jet airlines of the day, of the early 1960s. So you got a good discount if you flew on Loft Leader, but you did have to do a tech stop in Iceland. And they did order a number of these CL44s, and they wanted to carry more passengers on them than I guess in this configuration. Loft Leader asked Canadair, can you stretch the aircraft, make a longer version of it? So kind of reminds me of the Monty Python sketch, a budgie to the terrier, back legs off, metal pipe through the back of the head sketch. Canadair said, yeah, we can. And Canadair cut the airplane here. They cut the airplane here. They stretched it. And they created the CL44J. That aircraft could seat almost 190 passengers. And it was the largest capacity airliner in the world through the 1960s, up until the 747 when it 1970. So that's an interesting fact for you, aviation facts. This airplane, stretched version of it, hang on 1 second. Yes. Everything is appearing backwards. That is strange. I can't. Yeah, well, that maybe when I can't explain that. That has to do with the live stream. I think once it's encoded, it would appear not backwards. That's something that's out of my control. I'll have to Google why that's the case. But we'll have to just live with it for now. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Mirroring option. I don't know about that. On my, I can mess with it. This is new, so I don't see a mirroring option here. Okay, so hang on. Turn off the mirroring option. And I'll see if I can figure this out. Mirroring option. There, I do not see mirroring option on the screen here. No. Yeah, it is not. It's not available to me here. I don't know why when I do that. I've never had that problem before. Yeah, we're just going to have to live with it, unfortunately. That's something that I'll have to research later. Yeah, so I have no idea why that is. Why would they even make such a feature to put everything in reverse? I mean, that's stupid technology for no use, in my opinion. Anyhow, where was I? This model is quite a rare model. So we'll move on to the next one. Hang on 1 second. So this is an Aer Lingus 737 model, kind of a newer model from the mid-1990s. So I would say about 1994, 1995. Either made by Pac-Min or Wesco Models. And Aer Lingus would have taken delivery of these 737-300s in, or I would say the late 80s, maybe 87, 88, somewhere in that time frame. And they operated the 300, I think, probably through most of the 1990s. And these would have operated the European routes and, of course, the flights between Ireland and the UK as well. So kind of a neat model and quite nice condition. I always liked the Irish color scheme, the Aer Lingus color scheme with the green top, shamrock on the tail. Just something about the Aer Lingus scheme that's absolutely fantastic. I like this scheme better than the current day scheme as well. So yeah, it's quite a nice color scheme, and I do like it. Just give me 1 second. Well, I'll just take a second out here, and I'm going to ask, I'll go into my Google and say, I'm going to see how to turn off mirroring on iPhone, see if it can give me a quick explanation. You have to go to the control screen mirroring. So I'd have to end the stream to do that. It says to turn off mirroring on the iPhone, you have to go to the control center, and it says in the bottom, no, it's not readily available. Yeah. No, it's not. This is not easy. This is not easily explained. So I will disable mirroring forever on my phone once we're finished with this stream. Again, so this is just something that I didn't expect to happen. So yeah, so beautiful model, Aer Lingus, made by Pacific Miniatures. Really nice condition, actually. I'm sure many of you have actually flown on these aircraft, and as I say, they definitely flew quite a bit between Heathrow Airport and Dublin, Shannon, Cork, other major centers in Ireland. You would have flown on one of these. So Very, very neat looking aircraft for sure. And very neat. Okay, here's a beauty. This is a real beauty. Royal Canadian Air Force C-130 Hercules Air Transport Command. This is an original 1960s metal Verkyle model. It was made for look at this. It has Lockheed on the front there. And this is a metal model made by Verkyle. Notice the old red ensign on the tail there. This is before Canada adopted the maple leaf as its national insignia. So this model dates from pre-1965, and it is an absolutely fabulous mint condition. So just beautiful. And yeah, what an amazing model. It's new to my collection, and I really, anything that's Canadian is something I really like. And it's such a look at the under. Beautiful. I like the RCAF, the 444, and yeah, just fantastic looking model. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, the lines are just perfect. The red details, right? So the airplane would stand out. That's for high visibility purposes. So other aircraft flying at altitude could easily see the airplane. That's why they put the red on the aircraft for ease of visibility. But yeah, so this model dates from the early 60s and was made by Verkyle in the Netherlands for FC-130 Hercules. I really like the model quite a lot. I'll move on to my next model. Okay, while we are on the subject of Canadian airliners, you guys I think probably know what this is. This is a Wardair -7 made by probably the Wardair factory themselves. So 1/72nd scale. Wardair I think had maybe one or two of these -7s, and they were used out of Yellowknife. They had a hub up in Yellowknife, and they something that is quite rare, actually, quite rare. And it was painted like this, all blue, again for visibility purposes, because up in Yellowknife, it's all white. The ground is all white, the sky is often white, so they wanted the airplane to be visible from other airplanes, highly visible. So that's the reason why they did that. And it's just a really cool model, and painted quite authentically, and is a model I really like having in my collection. Beautiful color scheme. The other company that followed this this protocol of painting the airliners high visibility for Arctic operations is there's a company in Greenland that operated -7s. I think they were called Greenland Air. And they painted their -7 and their A330 also all red, so that it would be highly visible in Arctic operations. So yeah, quite a neat model. So Jeff says, I wonder why model companies include props on some prop model planes. Yeah, so that's it. It's a style thing. On the Hercules, they had the blades. On this model, there's no blades. They just put the spinner. So I think it's just a matter of artistic license, what the manufacturer decided that would be the best way to go for artistic license of the day. And they just make a decision based on that. Or maybe they ask the airline customer themselves, what do you prefer? Do you prefer to see the blades, or do you just want to have the prop hubs without the blades, signifying that they're turning around. So what do you prefer? I think I prefer, and they possibly break off, exactly, that's another good point. I think I prefer the blades because less chance, as you say, less chance for them to break off. And I like the, just, it looks like the airplane's flying. Whereas if the blades are still, that's how the airplane would be sitting on the ground. So I just like how the engines look like that. That's pretty cool, actually. That is really, really neat. Yeah, wow. Okay, we'll move on to our next model. Just give me a second, folks. Okay. While we're on the model, actually, it is a Fokker F-27 factory model. As you can see, Fokker F-27, made by Verkuyl of the Netherlands. These are made of metal. This one's in really nice condition, 1/72nd scale. I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm sure hundreds of these models were made, especially in the Fokker House livery, for promotional purposes. They were handed out to airlines and airline decision makers back in the 1960s and 1970s. This particular color scheme is from the 1970s. This is, I would say, circa 1974, the color scheme that Fokker used on their prototype airplanes, both the F-27 and the F-28. If you have old pictures or old slides, this is how you would see the airplanes, the real airplanes. So they put a fake registration on it, PHABC. That's just a fictitious thing. And I guess that, they don't want to, they just wanted to keep it generic. So that's typically how they would do that. And notice this aircraft has a cargo door up front right there. So yeah, so that's kind of neat. That not all the models were equipped with cargo doors, and not all the display models were equipped with cargo doors. 500, I'm not sure, maybe the 400. I'm not a huge expert on the different variants of the F-27 and which ones had built-in cargo doors. But as you can see, there is a small crew door within the cargo door as well. So kind of a neat thing. So I like the model. It's super accurate. You can hear it has a ring to it because it's metal, it's cast metal. And this model's in such nice condition for its age. As I say, circa 1974, thereabouts. So, yeah, that's kind of a very neat model, the F-27. Bear with me, folks. This model is my pride and joy. This is a fabulous late 1960s era Japan Airlines DC-862. It's made by the famous maker Nomoto from Japan. And I am probably focusing more on Nomoto models than any other models in my line of collecting today. They are. I'm going to take it off the stand because it's easier for me to hold. These models were made of wood. They were all models around. Nomoto is an absolute master, and I love Nomoto models. So if you have a Nomoto model that you'd be interested in selling or trading, I would very much appreciate hearing from you. And yeah, so this is DC-862 JA8032. It does have the real registration on it. And Nomoto made these models for sale for collectors, and they were sold in the Ginza, the Tenshodo store, which is still there today. You can visit it. Today it's primarily a rail fan store, but back in the 1960s, and core aviation fans as well. And these models were sold at that shop. They were produced in quite large numbers. So yeah, not necessarily made just for the airline. So they didn't hesitate to put the authentic registration on it and the real name of the aircraft, Shiga. So yeah, look how accurate that model is. I mean, the lines on it are just so fantastic. Really, it is a beautiful, beautiful model. JAL DC-862. These were delivered in the late 60s for JAL's long-range routes between Japan and Europe and North America. You would see these aircraft in London, their European points, Frankfurt, Paris, Francisco, Los Angeles for sure. And yeah, they were, what a handsome looking airplane, the DC-862. It was the longest range DC-8 in the product line. They shortened the fuselage, they reduced the gross weight, and therefore the fuel capacity could take the aircraft the further distance. Yeah, so interesting. Hello, Daddy-O Dude. Yeah, you like the look of the prop blades. Yeah, it's a completely personal thing, really. You know, the prop blades are no prop blades, but yeah, but the lines of this model are just absolutely fantastic. Really, really neat and cool. So it's, yeah, it's my pride and joy, the DC, you know, the Nemoto